So I'm just gonna barrel roll over to the mat here because we are starting on the ground. Let's go ahead, lean on back. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees drop wide. If this is uncomfortable, you could always place blocks underneath your knees. Or as an alternative, you can find constructive rest pose with your feet wide and your knees together. So on either position, place one hand at your navel, one hand at your heart. Close down your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Direct your awareness to the places where your body meets the earth. Notice your body breathing. Begin to soften through your eyes and forehead, cheeks, jaw, shoulders. Soften through your ribs and heart, abdomen, hips, knees, and even your feet. For the next few breaths, attune to the end of each exhale. A little pause. In that pause, there's space for the mind and body to relax. Direct your energy and breath downward, softening through your roots. Finding an ease, serenity in your breath and mind. Remain aligned. This peace and calm quality that you've created. And slowly, gently start to flutter your eyes open. Use your hands to bring your knees together. Then walk your feet to the outside edges of your mat. Take your hands over your head, elbows bent. Gently windshield wiper your knees from one side to the other. Just a little bit of movement. We can find some release in our lower back and our sacrum. Backs of your hips. And bring your knees back to center. Bring just your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers around your shin. Pull your knee in towards your shoulder. Keep your strap handy, or your faux strap handy. You'll want it here shortly. Extend your left leg out if that feels okay. If it felt better to have your knee bent, you can just keep your left knee bent, totally fine. You want to take some circles with your right ankle, go in both directions. Go slow. And then guide your right knee across your midline over to your left for a twist. Right arm stretches out from right shoulder. Inhale your knee back into center. Grab a hold of your strap. And place your strap or t-shirt or whatever it is around the ball of your right foot. You could rebend your left knee here if that feels better. And then press your right leg straight up over your hip. Notice if your right hip has come up towards your right shoulder at all. Make sure your right hip is pressing down and forward. And then maybe bend at your elbows. You could take your foot towards your head just an inch or two more. Flex your right foot a lot, lengthening the space between your right heel and the place where your hamstring meets your glutes. Relax your shoulders here. Really flex your right foot. And then take a hold of the strap and both straps into your right hand. Place your left hand on your left hip and guide your right foot over to the right. As soon as you feel your right hip lifting or your left hip lifting, that's a sign that you want to stop. Make sure that you're still keeping the stretch into your leg rather than lifting up. You lose a little bit of that quality stretch there. Don't tell anybody, but I'm sort of using the wall to cheat here. Keep your left shoulder on the earth. And guide your right foot back up over center. And instead of taking your right foot all the way over to the left, just take your right foot right over your left hip. You can take the straps into your left hand and then take your right thumb, place it in the crease of your right hip and roll your hip down towards the bottom of the mat. This stretch you'll feel on the outside of your right leg, your IT band. Again, flex your foot a lot. Flex your rested leg too. Keep those toes pointed up as well. Whew. Reach up through your heel and point your toes towards your face. And then you can give in, take your right foot all the way over for a twist. Reach your right arm out from your side again. You'll notice how different this will feel in comparison to when we just keep our foot right over our hip. They're very different. Bend at your right knee, draw your knee into center and come back into the middle. Place your right foot on the earth. Keep your strap handy and draw your left knee into your chest. Interlace your fingers around your left shin. Take some circles with your left ankle. Switch directions. And if it's okay with you and your body today, you could lengthen out through your right leg. And slowly guide your left knee across your midline over to the right side. Left arm stretches out from your shoulder. Notice if any tension is popped up in your forehead or jaw or in your shoulders. And encourage it to soften. Draw your knee back into center. Bend your right knee if it feels better for you, not required. Grab a hold of your strap. Place the strap around the ball of your left foot and then press your left foot straight up. We'll just start here. If your left foot flexed, right foot flexed too. Pull or bend your elbows any amount and gently guide your left foot towards your head. Keep your left hip rolling away from your shoulder. Left heel points up, left hip presses down. Then take the strap into both hands. Take your right hand to your right hip, right shoulder on the earth. Open your left hip over to the, or your left foot over to the left. Keep your right hip grounded, right shoulder grounded. Big stretch on the inside of your left leg. And the point is not to get your leg all the way down to the earth, because you'll notice as soon as your foot hits the earth, your right hip might come up, at least mine does. So just go to the point where you feel like you're getting some sort of transformational amount of stretch. It doesn't have to be the most that you've ever experienced, just enough. And draw your knee, the whole leg back into center. Organize your left foot over your right hip and take the straps into your right hand. Place your left thumb into your left hip crease and manually roll your left hip down towards the bottom of the mat. Right foot points straight up. It's like you're in pyramid, but on your back. Notice if you have any unnecessary tension in shoulders or anywhere else. Try to release it. And then when you're ready, you can take that whole foot over to your right. I have the wall in my way here, so you can imagine that the whole leg goes to the earth and your left arm is open. You can gaze straight up, or for more twist, you would look towards your left hand. You don't have to find more, especially not tonight. And draw your knee into your chest. Come back to center. Remove the strap. You can set it aside. I don't know that we'll be needing it again. Draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Roll gently from side to side. called Apanasana, seed pose. And then from here, if you'd like to roll to all fours, we'll take the hands to the backs of our thighs. You just roll gently forward and back. If this isn't okay for your spine today, you can always just roll to the side and then come to all fours. But if you find rolling enjoyable, maybe take 3 or so easy rolls and then meet me in all fours. I'm going to make a quick hair adjustment here. Hands over your shoulders, hips over your knees. We'll take some simple cat-cow here. Start with your shoulders over your wrists. On an exhale, draw your chin into your chest, navel to spine on an exhale. On an inhale, lengthen through your spine. Use your back muscles, reach your heart forward. Exhale, draw in from center. Press your hands down and away. Inhale, lengthen. If this simple framework is appealing for you today, stay with what we know as Bidalasana, cat-cow, going back and forth from one to the other. If you would like to add a little bit of movement, maybe take your hips into some circles, add a little fluidity, get off the grid. You can certainly begin to do that too. Maybe take your hips to the back of the mat, to the front, making sure to go in both directions, experimenting with different rhythms and patterns. Letting the fluidity travel up your spine, through the crown of your head. And find some stillness. Walk your hands one whole handprint forward. Your first finger aligns with the outside edges of your mat and fingers spread wide. Hands the width of your shoulders or possibly wider. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, send your hips back, and then begin to lengthen out through the backs of your legs. On an inhale, lift both your heels over your toes. And then on an exhale, bend just your right knee, send your left heel to the earth. Inhale, both heels lift. Exhale, bend your left knee, right heel presses down. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, left heel down. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, right heel goes down. Let's do one more time on each side together. Inhale up. And exhale, bend your left knee. Now, if you have any other movements you know you like to take here in downward dog, if you like taking your heels to the sides, whatever else really feels good for you today. And then when you're ready, come back to center. Find stillness. And inhale your heels over your toes. Draw your chin in towards your chest. Round forward into plank. Ground your knees. We're going to start in knee plank. And then exhale, elbows bend. Lower all the way down to the mat. We'll take 3 rounds of Cobra. The first one being the shortest. Anchor the tops of your feet into the earth. Press all 10 toes down. Tops of fingers pressed down. Shoulders loop. Come up just an inch off the mat. Reach your heart forward. And soften. Let's do that again. Shoulders loop. Collarbones broaden. Use your back. Come up a little bit higher. And release. Last one for this round, shoulders loop, heart reaches forward, use your back, and then use your arms. Lengthen across the front of your body, open up across your heart, and then melt back down to the mat. Hands underneath your shoulders. Let's come through child's pose. Exhale back, child's pose, just one breath. Tuck your toes and then come back to downward dog. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen up halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Keep a pretty good bend in your knees here and roll up to standing. Inhale your arms over your head. Exhale through center. Let's feel that a couple more times. Inhale, reach down, out, and up. And bring your hands back through midline. One more time. Arms reach out. Take your full inhale. Palms come together. Hands through center. And we'll pause at your heart. Take a moment. Set an intention for your class today. It doesn't have to be anything huge or really ambitious. Something simple. Release your hands once you've got that in your mind. Press down into your feet. Breathe your arms up. Expand your lungs from all four sides of your ribs. And exhale, dive forward. Hinge from your hips. Arm or heart reaches forward. Hips reach back. Place your hands onto inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward and step back into downward dog. Inhale your right leg straight back and up. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest. Lift from center, shift forward. Place your right foot next to your right thumb. Ground your back knee. If you need a padding or anything, go ahead, find that. And exhale, shift your hips back for half splits. Stretch through the backs of your hips and your hamstring. Inhale, come forward. This round will come back and forth between these two motions just a few times. Hips move down and forward, heart lifts. And then as you send your hips back, spine stays as long as you can, heart reaches forward. This time as you come forward, pause in low lunge. Inhale your arms up and over your head, turn your palms out. Exhale, release your hands. We'll go through this motion a couple more times too. Inhale out and up. Exhale, shoulders melt. Inhale over your head. Exhale slowly down. One more time, inhale, arms up. Turn your palms out. Exhale, seal your hands back to the earth. Tuck your back toes, knee over your ankle, and step back into plank or knee plank. Press your fingertips into the earth and lower all the way down. Fingertips press down, shoulders loop, heart reaches forward, collarbones open, and release. Hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, engage through center, up through plank, knee plank or child pose to downward dog. And those vinyasas are always optional too. Left leg, inhale, reach back and out through your heel. Exhale, draw your knee into middle, shift forward, place your left foot next to your left thumb. Ground your back knee. Shift your hips back, lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, hips move down and forward, heart reaches up. Couple more times here. Just going back and forth between these two. Starting to open up across the backs of our hips in half splits. And as we come forward into low lunge, we'll feel opening across the front of our grounded knee hip. Next time you come forward, pause. Inhale your arms up and over your head. Turn your palms out, bend at your elbows, shoulders melt down your back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. 2 more times. Hands down to the mat, seal your palms, tuck your back toes, lift your knee, and step into plank or knee plank. Elbows point straight back, come down to your mat, press into the tops of your feet, keep the back of your neck long through cobra, and release. Hands underneath your shoulders, and come back to downward dog. Breath leads. Inhale your right leg back, heel lifts. Exhale, guide your knee through center with control. Bring your right foot next to your right thumb. Again, left knee down. We'll send hips back once this time. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, hips come forward. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Turn your palms out. Exhale, open up across your collarbones. And then let's breathe your arms up once for good measure. Bring your palms together, hands through center. Bring your hands down to the earth, tuck your toes, and step back into plank. Navel to spine as you make your way back down to the mat. Shoulders loop, collarbones open, reach your heart forward and soften back down. Tuck your toes and come back up to downward dog. Breath leads. Inhale your left leg back. Exhale, hug your knee into middle. Shift forward, place your right knee on the earth. Shift your hips back, lengthen through your left hamstring and your heart reaches forward. Exhale, come back forward into low lunge. Inhale your arms up over your head. Palms turn out, heart opens. Inhale, breathe your arms back up, palms together, and exhale through center. Tuck your back toes, step into plank or knee plank. Elbows point back. Tops of feet press down and back, heart reaches forward and release. And then make your way back to downward dog. One more time on each side. Right foot. Exhale through center, foot to thumb. Shift back into half splits. Exhale or inhale, come forward. Reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, release your elbows down. Pull your hands back over your head and through center. Bow from your hips. With control, mindfully place your right foot next to your left and ease yourself with strength back down. Now ease yourself with fluidity through cobra and back to downward dog. Last time on the left side. Inhale. Exhale, knee through center. Foot to thumb. Ground your back heel. Send your hips back. Reach your heart forward, spine long. Rebend your front knee. Hips move down and forward. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale. Release, breathe your arms up, palms together, hands through midline. Tuck your back toes and step into plank. Exhale, back down to mat. Loop your shoulders, reach your heart forward, and soften. Instead of coming back to downward dog, let's come back to child's pose. Send your hips towards your heels. Knees can be together or wide. This kind of depends on your body and your hips today. Just take a moment, check in with the conditions of your mind. And from child's pose, come to your back. We'll do some very light core work. Evening core work. It's like evening wear, but core work. Okay, come to your backs and then cross your right knee over your left. So your right ankle, actually, let's place your right ankle on top of your left thigh and your hands behind your head. On your exhale, you'll draw both legs up towards your chest, reaching your right shin towards your chest. And on an inhale, press your left leg out, away from you, lengthen out. Exhale, draw everything back up to center. Keep your gaze up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw into center. Let's do two more. Inhale, press out. Exhale, heart lifts straight up, gaze up. Keep your back of your neck long. Did I say two more? I meant three more. One more, lengthen out. Exhale, come back into center. And place your left foot on the mat. Place your right foot on the mat, and we'll go straight into the other side. Left ankle crosses over your right thigh. Hands behind your head. Draw your left shin in towards you. Lift head, neck, and shoulders straight up. Inhale, press your right leg straight out. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders lift, shin to chest. Inhale, lower halfway down and back to center. Three more. And that's not a trick this time. And it was actually supposed to be a trick last time. Unless I lose count. Exhale to center. I think we have one more. Inhale, press your right foot out. Exhale, draw into center, heart lifts, and then place your right foot down on the ground. You can take your left foot down on the ground now too. Feet as wide as your mat, and rock your knees from side to side. And take your hands behind your knees. We're going to make our way to downward dog. So you can either do that again by rolling a couple of times or going to the side, coming through all fours. You can go your own way. All right, fingertips spread wide, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Find downward dog. Reach the crown of your head towards the space between your hands. Settle your heels towards the earth. Lift your hips back and up so you're lengthening the backs of your hips and your hamstrings. And then inhale, reach your right leg straight back and up. Exhale, draw your knee into center. Lift from center, shift forward. Place your right foot next to your right thumb. Ground your back heel. So you're heel to heel or wider. Setting up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Keep your front knee bent, thumbs lead. Inhale, up, arms up and over your head. Take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh to help keep your shoulders square. And then exhale, right hand sweeps back. Inhale, right arm up over your head. Keep your front knee bending. Exhale, back. Press both feet down and forward while you're going through these movements. Secure the outside edge of your left foot into the earth. And the next time your right arm comes up over your head, release your left, bring your left arm up to meet it. And bring both hands to your hips. Rotate on your back foot so you're in crescent pose, but with your hands on your hips here. Bring your arms out wide so they're straight out from your shoulders. Shift your weight forward so you're in this like flying nun pose. And then hop your back foot in until you can lift your left foot straight up off the earth in Warrior 3. So keep your left leg as long as you can, as straight as you can. Flex your left foot a lot. Left toes point straight down. And notice if your left hip is turned up, you want to keep your left hip rotated down. And you know that it is if your left toes are pointing down. A little bend in your standing leg is quite helpful here. This will probably be the most active thing we do, so I promise to give you all a break from it. Just a couple more breaths here. It'll all be worth it, I promise. One more inhale. And then exhale. Bring your hands down to the earth. Lift your left leg up as high as you can. And exhale, draw your left knee behind your right leg. Cross behind it until the left foot meets the earth, left knee meets the earth. And then sit your hips on the inside of your left leg. So you're in this kind of pretzel-y shape. Wrap your left arm around your right leg and take a twist to look over your right shoulder. Press down with your right fingertips to lengthen through your spine. And on your exhale, you can slightly back, or on your inhale, you slightly back off the twist. And exhale, look back over, twist a little more. Get a nice stretch of your outer right hip here too. And then turn back towards the front of your mat. We'll just roll over your knees. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Actually, let's find plank pose here. And then exhale, or knee plank, and then lower back down. Tops of feet, anchor, shoulders loop, heart reaches forward. And release. Hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, knees lift through plank or knee plank back to downward dog. Left leg lifts, inhale, reach back and up, press your hands down and forward. Exhale, bring your left knee in through center, hug it into middle, shift forward, place your left foot next to your left thumb. Ground your back heel, so you're heel to heel or wider. And then press down into the earth to rise up. Take your right hand on the outside of your left thigh. And then exhale, pinky leads sweep back. Shoulders stay square to the front of the mat. Your hips are relatively square. So we're going to keep moving. Exhale back. And then over our head. Keep your front knee bent and press the outside edge of your back foot into your mat. Inhale your arm up over your head. Pause here. Right arm to meet it for warrior one. Shoulders square. And then bring your hands to your hips. Pivot your back foot so that your heel is over your toes now. Look towards the front of your mat. Reach your arms out from your shoulders. Shift forward so you've got a long line from heel to crown of head. Hop your back foot in. Slowly lift your back leg and lift from the base of your leg. Reach out through the crown of your head, through the heel of your lifted leg. Flex your right foot a lot. Draw in through your navel, so you're supporting yourself through center, and a little bit of bend through your standing leg. Helps with balance. Keep your arms active. Make sure your right hip isn't rolling up. One more breath in. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Lift your right leg as high as you can. And exhale, your right knee behind your left knee. So you bend both knees at the same time. Right foot makes it down, right knee makes it down, and then your hips are on the inside of your right leg there. I'm going to turn. Wrap your right arm around your left knee and take your left hand behind you on your fingertips. Press down, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Draw your right ribs towards the inside of your left thigh. And look over your left shoulder. Hug your knee in towards your chest. It's a really nice stretch for the outer hip. And come back to center. Look towards the top of your mat. Roll forward. Untangle your legs and step back into plank. Exhale patiently Make your way to the earth. And then find some freedom, liberation in Cobra. And release. Hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, and make your way back to downward dog. Inhale your right leg back. Reach your right leg as high as you can. Let your hips open. Bend at your knee. And take your knee in towards your chest, but stay in downward dog. So just bring your knee in and then out. So you're taking big circles with your knee. Exhale in, inhale, open up. One more, draw in. Inhale, circle open. And then draw your knee into your chest. Lift from center, shift forward. Place your foot between your hands. And then actually ground your back knee. Walk your right foot over to meet your left hand. And we're setting up for pigeon here, which could also be Z pose for you. So maybe you ground your right knee near your right hand and find pigeon with your back leg out behind you. Or maybe you bend your back knee so your left knee points towards the left side of your mat, and then you can fold forward. Find the place that's appropriate for your body today, and a place that you can hold for a few rounds of breathing, something that you can sustain. Some place where you can find some ease, but also transformation. Notice if you have any gripping, tension in your eyes, forehead, or jaw. Notice if you're favoring one side or the other. If you're on your forearms, start to walk your hands back in towards you. Shift your weight towards your right hip. Bend at your left knee if it wasn't already. And swing carefully your left leg up over your right leg. So that you've got, and this is going to be different for everybody. So maybe your knees stack here. And maybe this is like not happening for your hips today. So you could always come back to having a bent left leg in this situation and still experience that same outer hip stretch. It might feel good to have, or helpful to have, something underneath your seat. So if you have a pillow or something that might help you shift your weight forward. So if you're in Gomukhasana and you have your knees stacked, take your hands to your sides, press down into your fingertips, lift up through your heart. And then exhale, reach your heart forward. And you're starting to fold just any amount, and maybe you need to shift a little bit to get both of your hips on the earth. And then maybe you could bring your hands around in front of you. I don't know if you want to place your chin on your hands or a couple of stacked blocks if you have them. But find something that you can hold, again, for about another minute. Bring your awareness to your breath. See if you can focus on the space between your thoughts. As thoughts pop up into your consciousness, notice how quickly they can also pass away. If you're leaning forward, release your arms that was supporting your head. Peel yourself up. Take your hands behind you. Place your feet on the earth. And we'll just take our knees from side to side. And then swing your legs back behind you. And we'll meet back in downward dog. Inhale your left leg back and up. Look out for the lily. Bend your left knee. Open up through your hips. Press your hands down and forward. Then on an exhale, draw your left knee in towards your chest. Stay in downward dog and then open up through your hips again. So you're coming, exhale in towards center. Inhale, open up, out wide. One more full rotation. Exhale in, inhale, open. And this time you'll exhale your knee in through center, shift forward. Place your left foot next to your left thumb. Ground your back knee. Walk your left foot over to your right hand. Ground your left knee. And you're finding either pigeon or Z pose with a bent back knee. Totally up to your body today. Come to your forearms if that's available to you. And again, notice if your body's favoring one side or another. We tend to favor the sides with the less sensation. But what happens if we spend just a little bit more time with the feelings, the physical feelings, the emotional feelings? What happens when we just notice them? What are we avoiding? On your forearms, begin to come back up to your hands. Shift weight into your left hip. Carefully take your right leg, swing it up and over in front of, on top of your left leg. You walk your feet away from each other, and you're either in Gomukhasana legs with your knees stacked, or perhaps you have your knee up. Either one gives a very similar feeling. I like to adjust my seat here kind of manually so I can move the flesh out of the way. It helps me hinge forward from my hips. Start with your fingertips behind you, lengthen through your spine, lift from your heart. And then any amount at all, begin to hinge forward. And then eventually you could bring your hands around in front of you. Maybe your hands support your head. Maybe they're palms together with forearms on the earth. Bring your awareness to the sensations of your breath. Use your breath to help close the gap between mind and body. As one sensation becomes louder than the others, see if you can broaden the aperture of your awareness. Begin to walk your hands in towards you. Lift your heart. Take your hands behind. Uncross your legs. Turn your fingertips behind you. And again, we'll just gently wave our knees back and forth. Find some stillness in your limbs. We'll roll to our backs, nice and easy. Draw your knees into your chest. Get your arms out from your sides. We'll take a simple twist here. Just guide your knees over to the right. Rest your right hand on top of your left leg. Soften through your sacrum and your shoulders. Let go of effort. We've entered the receiving portion. Take your knees back through center. Stretch your right arm out from your right side and guide your knees over to the left. Left hand gently resting without pressing on your right leg. Knees come back into middle. Wrap your arms around your shins or find happy baby. Gently rock from side to side. Bring the soles of your feet together. Interlace your fingers. Press your knees away so you feel one last bit of stretch here before we head into our final resting pose. Inhale and exhale, release your legs. Stretch your legs out long. Let your feet roll away from each other, palms open for Shavasana. I won't leave you hanging. I'll be sure to tell you when it's time to come out. Without moving, bring your awareness back to the space around you. Direct your awareness to your breath, lengthening your inhale and exhale. Reawaken your physical body, small movements of your fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Stretch your arms over your head. Bend at your knees. Roll to your side, pausing for a moment, your ear to your bicep. And just notice what it feels like to experience calm. Stillness. What does it feel like in your body? Then use your top arm, press yourself up into a seated position at the front of your mat. Bring your palms together. Thank you for coming today, for yourself, for each other, for the people in your life. May you and all living things be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with strength and ease. Namaste.